Loads of people were just walking around at the start of this week's episode of Raw, and for some reason, Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore in the crowd, like two kids that ran away from school, were hanging out at the amusement park, and because Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan are back together, they arrived in a lowrider. Wrestling is really weird. Also, my friends, Motor Ups and Downs, the only wrestling review show you need, and you want to know why it's the only wrestling review show you need? Because I create the content, and I do the content. That doesn't make sense. I go wrestling as well. You see this? I know you've all been staring at it since the start of this video. It's because I went to war at Progress Wrestling on Sunday against Charlie Serling, and you can go to the Hooked On Wrestling service, that will do, and watch that by the end of the week. That's all I'm going to tell you, because I don't want to give too much away. But yes, right, maybe I got smacked right in the face, or maybe I did it to myself, there's no way to know. Also want to shout out Norton, because right now there is a link down there and a QR code on the screen. If you do click that, you can get 73% off, which is pretty damn good. You can protect your web surfing, and you can kind of choose where you're going to be in the old world. And do not forget, if you're from the US, if you're from Australia, if you're from Europe, if you are from different parts of this globe, there's going to be different deals for you. All the information is down there, so go and click it. And now, let's take the finger of power and up the downs for the Raw after Survivor Series. So we kicked off Raw with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and I got super excited about this, because you know how I feel about those women's tag team titles. They always rule, but you have to make sure they are in a position to rule to begin with, like some sort of a king. And yes, Rhea Ripley called them Rio, because Rhea and Io, and that's not going to upset some crazy fans at all. But they are super happy that they won at the War Games, but they are super mad because they hate the Kabuki Warriors. This is the only issue that I do have with Survivor Series and having the Games of War. You get to the next episode of Raw SmackDown, and everyone just goes, let's get back into the stories that we were telling before. I am just going to give it a tiny down, because it was kind of mentioned on this show, but then we went, nope, that's in the past. Let's move past it as fast as possible. I mean, even the mention of Brock Lesnar later was just like, Brock Lesnar is such a tough guy, and then nobody knew what he was doing. So again, it's a teeny tiny town, it doesn't matter, but I just think War Games would not improve, because it's pretty badass, but it'd just be better if it flowed into everything else. Now, Rhea then mentioned those women's tag team belts, and I was like, yes, here we go. When, of course, out came Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, because the War Games are over, and now they don't like each other anymore, and Alexa was like, only one people should be getting a tag team title shot, and that is us, because we want our rematch. Rhea was like, listen, Mike, you weren't even able to beat the Kabuki Warriors, you go to the back of the line. And I was like, man, Rhea talks weird. Now, surprise, surprise, Adam Pearce soon made this match, but I am not going to moan, even though it meant Raw didn't have a main event until this did go down, because I was genuinely excited. I don't want to get on my high horse again, because I talk about this all the time, but any moment the WWE does allow the women's tag team belts to shine, it just feels different, and now we are packing it with stars, which is also exciting for the women's championship, the singular belt, whatever you want to call it, because we can move more people into there as well, and we can just take this division and throw it up the win-web. I am going to give it an up. I thought it set the table very nicely. We then come to Adam Pearce, and yes, he did confirm this match. This was such a funny skit. It made me laugh out loud. Ivy now walked in and said, I demand an Intercontinental title match, and was like, yep, I'll probably give you one. It's like, we haven't seen her in about 72 years. When he went, but you have to wait, because right now, Maxine Dupree is training with Natalya. I was like, that is the strangest excuse I've ever heard. So we're basically copying the plot of Rocky IV, which I guess is no bad thing, when Adam turned around and Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker were there, and he was like, listen, I don't like either of you, because you had a masked hooded man in the War Games, and Paul went, we don't know anything about that. We have no idea what's going on. So once again, I did the dance of joy. We have a long-term story, my friends. We need to figure out who is the hooded gentleman of Survivor Series. They also wanted to talk to Adam Pearce, so they all went into the office. I'll spoil it for you right now. It was going to turn out that on the first Raw of the year, on Netflix, it is going to be Bron Breakker versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Once again, I was like, you damn right. Bron Breakker pinned that guy in the double steel cage. I mean, that's got to count for something. We also learned that CM Punk has not been cleared to wrestle, even though he seemed perfectly fine when he was yelling at Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes when we got to the John Cena tournament to see who was going to win John Cena. I mean, if you do, win the John Cena tournament, surely you get to walk away with the man. But it was Jey Uso versus LA Knight, and I thought this totally ruled, because one, I didn't know who was going to win, and also, I thought both those guys went out there and they worked their socks off. They also have history, of course, because they hated each other throughout the summer. They kept reversing each other's finishes into the most devastating move. In all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. We did tease a count-out at one point. I was like, please, no more count-outs. We've had way too many of them. When essentially, Jey Uso did get the spear, and of course, LA Knight kicked out of that. But because he has another finisher, he did it again. He went to the top rope. He hit the Uso splash. He then made the very poor decision to pin LA Knight, sort of lying on him with his back exposed. So LA Knight did turn it into the most devastating move. In all our sports entertainment surprise roll-up, he got the 1, 2, 3. He looked overjoyed. Jey Uso looked really pissed off. I was like, damn it, this was well done. And that's doubly true as well, because after LA Knight had Scarp and going, hooray, I'm going to do this, Jey Uso had a meltdown, he destroyed the ringside area, and he looked super duper pissed off. So quite clear we're going to do something with his character, and it wouldn't surprise me if he screws over LA Knight on SmackDown, costing LA Knight the chance to become John Cena. So I don't know what we did here, but it perfectly worked for me, and now I want to see what's going to happen with this Jey Uso character. He still gets so much hate online. I think he's hitting home runs every week. He is kicking ass, giving it up. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria then asking Adam Pearce about them getting a women's tag team title shot. This time he went, you know what? I will think about it. I said, Adam, you have no balance here. You have no running thread through your championship shots. Up to this point, it's been Geek's title shot, and you Geek's a title shot, and now you're making them jump through hoops. And they got even better because Oscar and Kylie Sane walked in, and Asuka's all like, listen, Bailey, the reason we lost at War Games is because of you. You should have been in the match, and you decided not to, so now we're mad. That's like me saying it's your fault that I lost my hair because you didn't walk in here and give me a hair transplant, when they both called each other idiots. But once again, you could see that WWE was building the tag team scene here. I'm not going to repeat what I said earlier, but once again, I was pumped. Well, we got a big old segment following that pay-per-view because, of course, we had to see the new but old, but they're back again Judgment Day. Out came Dominic Mysterio with his cronies, and he was all like, ha, guess who beat John Cena? It's me, which means I am now the best of all time, the greatest of all time. They need to make sure that Dominic talks about this throughout 2026. Like, he's still getting cheered here because people love the condom, but it is such a huge endeavor to be able to achieve, beating John Cena on his last PLE. We need it on a t-shirt, we need it on a hat, we need to hear it every single second of every single day. He also welcomed out Liv Morgan, and it's so cool to have her back on Raw because she's so good. She just went right back into her old character and then went, man, this Judgment Day, we haven't been doing very well since I have been away. When we cut to Finn Balor, who looked like the saddest man on the planet. Liv and Dom also made a big song and dance saying we knew that John Cena would figure out our Judgment Day plan, hence why we did have Liv Morgan as a backup. This may as well have been yet another tease going, yes, listen, even though we are the Judgment Day now, we're absolutely going to break up very soon. All things considered, I would guess that Dominic and Liv should probably be the babyface. Speaking of that as well, I do think we need to get to this breakup sooner or later because we now have been teasing it for a year. But I understand that we were probably waiting for Liv Morgan to come back, and she really does add something to this show. And there was a little bit of a hint later what else she's probably going to do. I'm giving it an up. It just works. But now, yes, keep Dom and Liv together. With the rest of them, they're going to have to do a turn. When we learn that Natalya has gone insane, because we cut to a very well shot video of Maxine Dupree training in the dungeon, and Natalya slapped her, and she was like, oh man, this isn't good enough. You need to try harder. My hand went up. I was like, Maxine Dupree, you told me AJ Lee was training you. Why did you decide to change? Now, of course, it ties into the fact that Maxine and Natalya have been hanging out playing Nintendo for a while, but this was essentially the Natty from Bloodsport as opposed to the old Natalya on WWE TV. So I hope we do bring her to Raw and just let her kick ass. I mean, maybe she beats up Maxine Dupree and goes after that IC title. That would work. But I like this. It was different. It begs the question, who the hell filmed it? But it looked damn good. Adam Pearce then continued to win the night because we cut to him. He was with the referee and he said, listen to me, referee, we need to figure out what was going on at the Survivor Series because there was that masked hooded man and a little birdie told me maybe Seth Rollins was there. So, you know, let's try and find out if it was him. I was like, Adam, you're being filmed, right? You're whispering and trying to come up with this covert operation. We heard every single word you literally said. And listen, it could turn out to be Seth Rollins. Like on the night, it 100% wasn't Seth Rollins because he is genuinely injured. But you could just go ta-da and tie it into the story. Although given that we are prolonging it, I'm starting to think maybe it is Chris Jericho because I believe his AEW contract is up in a few weeks. But who the flub knows? Half the fun is going to be guessing. When we got to the tag team title match that had been built all week, it was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee taking on the New Day. Honestly, man, we have to use this as a stepping off point. We all know the Raw Tag Team titles have been a bit wishy-washy throughout 2025. We get to the end of the year and we have a match like this. Whatever we do, we must benefit from it. It kicked ass. The New Day made sure to jump AJ Styles before the bell as well. They beat him up, and then Dragon Lee got in there, and he was flying around, and we got Hurricane Ranas. Xavier Woods was doing his thing, and Kofi Kingston was like, ha ha, I'm going to boot you in the face. They just had such good chemistry, and given who it was, it wouldn't surprise me if in the back they had gone, listen, we need to save these Raw Tag Team titles, so we're going to go out there and create fire Honestly, if you have 15 minutes today, you should totally watch it. Of course, at one point, Kofi went for the surprise roll-up and held on to the rope because he is a heel. But let's just talk about the finish. Because AJ Styles and Dragon Lee did that thing when you hang somebody, in this case Kofi Kingston, up on the top rope, and then Dragon Lee stomped him and he flew in the air, but AJ Styles didn't powerbomb him. He caught him in the Styles Clash position. That's when the Dragon dived on Xavier Woods, put one on the dive counter, and AJ hit the Styles Clash. They got the 1, 2, 3. I looked around and I said to myself, that is one of the best finishes I have seen all year. So make sure that nobody ever kicks out of it unless it's absolutely going to mean something. I am going to give it an up. This is all you have to do. Like, it'd be great if we could add in some more stories, but it was just so much better than other things we have seen. I really liked it. When I did get a little bit upset because Jackie Redmond was interviewing Stephanie Vaquer and she was like, I told Nikki Belly, if you try to betray me, I will set you on fire, which is kind of nuts, but I think she meant it figuratively. When Liv Morgan walked in and said, I just wanted to let you know I'm back and congratulations being the champion, and she left. Now listen, Liv Morgan absolutely should be the long-term future champion person that feuds with Stephanie Vaquer, but I still think coming off a match on pay-per-view, giving Steph like 25 seconds is not enough. We talked about her promos before. She comes across as so endearing, it's not going to affect her babyfaceness, and we kind of did the whole Nikki Bella feuding fast forward too. I'm going to give it a down. Just put her in the ring and at least give her 5 minutes. I just don't think we're doing enough with her, and we certainly could do more. Just a little pet peeve of mine, but what do I know now? I did get quite pumped up next because the Vision did come to the ring with Logan Paul, but no, there was no Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre, because once again, we must move on. And Paul Heyman talked about this. He's like, aren't we great? We have won the War Games, and that's right, next year, we are doing Bron Breakker versus CM Punk. Look who's behind me, it's Bron Breakker. And obviously, otherwise it would have been weird. Bron then did take the mic, and man, he cut the best promo of his life. I think he just found his Steiner genes. It was like, well, it worked for Scotty, so it can work for me too. This is another thing you should go and watch. He just spat fire. And because he's Bron Breakker, we sound like Bron Breakker, and Bron Breakker doesn't sound like anybody else, and that allowed him to stand out. And also, I believed every damn word he said. He's going to go kill CM Punk. He even said he doesn't care about this Batman from War Games, which did make me laugh. And also, CM Punk is nothing but a soft-ass bitch, which made Paul Heyman melt it down. When he told a story that is probably real, I don't know, but he delivered it so well. When he went, hey, CM Punk, do you remember when you found me backstage at WrestleMania this year and said, well, I guess I should congratulate you. Well, let's see if you can cut a promo, kid. Well, this is my promo. And once again, I'm going to break your neck. I was like, he's right. This is a promo. He got me pumped up. And I was like, maybe I should fight CM Punk for the world title. Then I realized I totally lost it. He also threw the mic on the ground after this. And if you want to be super critical, you can go, this is the promo he should have cut after he did betray Seth Rollins a few weeks ago. But who the flub cares? 2026 has to be the year of Bron Breakker. I think Bron Breakker should just beat CM Punk in January. Why stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne? He did exactly what he needed to do to tell us over the next 12 months, I'm probably going to be the champion, I'll be in the main event scene, and I am going to leave no room for you to criticize me. I'm giving it an up. It was a coming of age moment in many ways. Totally brilliant. Jackie Redmond then decided to be the most annoying person on the planet. Because even though quite clearly Jey Uso was in a bad mood and leaving, she was like, hey Jey, do you want to tell me about the Masked Man? Hey Jey, do you want to talk about War Games? Hey Jey, do you want to talk about Bron Breakker? Hey Jey, do you want to talk about the World Championship? He was like, no, I don't care about no Bron Breakker. I don't care about nothing. And you know what? Maybe Roman Reigns was right, and the titles do look better around Roman's waist. So something is happening here with Jey. Again, I bet he screws over LA Knight next week. I was about to say Jey Uso. That wouldn't make any sense. Everything that WWE has been doing with Jey Uso, basically since the summer, I think has totally rocked, and we haven't given him his due. Like, it's been a little bit, drawn out. That's fair enough. But I can't wait to see what we do with this. Like, does he go heel? Or is he like a tweener? But we've given him layers, man. And everyone likes layers. Go talk to an onion. It was then back to see who was going to win John Cena, because it was Gunther versus Solo Sikoa, and this was another fine move by WWE. I don't care it was heel versus heel. I just watched it and I went, well, I put my money on Gunther, but at the same time I have totally no idea, and it's a matchup I didn't expect to see. Couple of thumbs. Now, Tyler, I'm the tallest Tonga, was just out there as well, and he was tripping Gunther, so put one on the DIC board, and towards the end of this, I just laughed out loud. Tyler just grabbed Gunther, and Solo was about to attack him. The ref just watched this like, well, there's nothing I can do. I suppose the way you could justify it is that winning John Cena is so important, it's such a big deal. He doesn't want to disqualify anyone, he wants to make sure it's all above board. That's total nonsense, but I did like it because Gunther got out of the way. He basically smashed Talatonga. I think he hit him in the groin. He did. He gave him the donkey kick. And when the referee went to deal with him, Gunther went shrug emoji. He whammed Jey Uso right in the testicles. Not Jey Uso. He whammed Sikoa right in the testicles. He hit the bomb of power, and he got the 1-2-3. There was also a bunch of kickouts before this, and Gunther was selling for Solo, and Solo was doing his old man, I'm so Sikoa. I'm secretly brilliant that nobody realizes. I just enjoyed this match so much. And now, of course, we know it is going to be Gunther versus LA Knight on SmackDown to see who does win. And Lara came out afterwards to look at Gunther, because that's what wrestlers do. I'm giving this an up as well. To be completely honest, if you just want to sit down and watch the entirety of Raw, I think you're going to have a good time. We then went back to this snitch referee who was talking to Adam Pearce. He was like, man, I didn't find anything out, but I did hear the name Seth Rollins, so we are greatly teasing that. When AJ Styles and Dragon Lee walked in, and they basically talked about the clothes that Adam Pearce was wearing. I was like, man, I think I may have accidentally taken drugs. But they do want another match next week, and it's going to be against the War Raiders, which is just like picking a name out of a hat. But go back to what I talked about earlier. We need some of those tag team titles. I think WWE has realized, and it made me feel excited. Finally, somebody interviewed Rey Mysterio, given what his son had done over the weekend, and I think he called Dominic a bastard, which is a very confusing situation. When of all people in walked Logan Paul, and listen, I understand Logan Paul does a very good job, but somebody just needs to give him better lines to say. The first thing he said was, I'm 6'3" and you're 3'6". It's like we all know Rey Mysterio is short. This is nothing new. Come up with something, anything else. Stop talking to AI. The thing is, though, they did really get into it, and Logan Paul said the IC title belongs to the Vision. I was like, one, it doesn't, and two, Rey Mysterio isn't the Intercontinental title, although I guess he did say he wanted to beat his stupid son to get that belt. When he said he was going to retire Logan Paul, other way around, he's going to retire Rey Mysterio, when Rey slapped the crap out of him, and now I think they're going to do this next week, and the winner will probably go on to become the IC title #1 contender. Logan Paul cannot beat Rey. I think that happened once already. I don't want to see it again, and I'm going to have to worry about this for the next 7 days. What a geek. When we did get to the main event, which of course was to basically see who was going to become the #1 contenders for the women's tag team titles, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss taking on Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I would say no notes, but of course I did make some notes. But this just made me happy, man. We got to carry this on. How many times do I have to say it? If you allow the women's tag team titles to cook, they'll make you an egg. And there was some weird stuff here, because at one point we were like, oh no, Charlotte's accidentally hit Rhea. Oh no, Rhea accidentally hit Charlotte. But I think they were just building to the double hot tag when they could get at it. And yes, at one point in the corner, they had a bit of a wibble wobble. I don't care. It happens all of the time. It's wrestling. Wrestlers are allowed to make mistakes. And why would you even overly focus on it? Because the rest of it was damn good. We also got a bunch of near falls. And at one point, Alexa Bliss went for the twisted Bliss, but she went right into Rhea Ripley's knee. So then Io Sky was busting out moonsaults. We're getting 1-2 always all over the place. And just as this was reaching a peak, and I was so into it going, nah, who is going to win? The Kabuki Warriors ran out and caused a no contest. Now listen, I do understand why WWE did this. I don't want to get too derailed here because again, what a great main event. But it left me disappointed. And not in the way of, oh no, the heels have taken it away from me. More of a, why does WWE over-rely on this? I have to give it a down. I gotta be honest with you, I gotta be transparent. I would have picked a winner and a loser. I just think it would have tied into the story way better. However, WWE basically then saved it pretty well, because as the Kabuki Warriors was going nuts, out came Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Then all of a sudden, Lyra was about to jump off out of the announce table when Liv Morgan was here, and Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. They laid waste to everybody. When Raquel and Roxanne picked up the tag titles, Roxy went to give it to Liv Morgan, because of course she never lost that belt, and Morgan returned it to her as if to say, no, no, my friend, you are in the Judgment Day. Until I go properly babyface and kick you right in the nuts. This meant the Raw ended with me feeling genuinely pleased that all these people have been put in this position. And what a tag team scene. Again, I'm not going to go through every single one of them because I will get lost. But you always have Liv Morgan, I presume, going after Stephanie Vaquer. And while I feel like we could have leaned into that harder, I am giving this an up. It was a great end to Raw. I am now re-energized about this tag team title scene. Triple H beforehand said this Raw's going to be epic. Sometimes he says that stuff. I don't necessarily think he does deliver. On this night, he absolutely did. That was a damn good event. So of course, overall, it is going to get an up. And again, you may not have liked it, so please do leave me a comment below to let me know. That rhymes, so it must be true. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Ups and downs for survivors is on the screen. Would appreciate if you could support that too. Otherwise, yes, hooked on wrestling. Go watch me get, I can't tell you, I did it to myself. That's all I'm going to say, but it was done in a cool way, or at least cool for me. Draw under it. Take care. Goodbye.